special look at Wemby 1 year later. We're going to relive the moments we all watched so closely last summer, a summer that has changed the Spurs' history, and we are just at the beginning of the Wemby era. Let's look back and start with one lucky lottery.
The third pick belongs to the Portland Trailblazers. The second pick will be made by the Charlotte Hornets. And that means that the #1 pick in the 2023 NBA draft goes to the San Antonio Spurs.
I remember that like it was yesterday, May 16th, 2023. That's Deputy Commissioner of NBA Mark Tatum with the call that all Spurs fans wanted to hear. The lotto that has changed the Spurs once again. First with David Robinson, then Tim Duncan, and now it's Victor Wembanyama. They had a 14% chance to get the first pick, and the ping pong balls fell their way. A handful of us here at KSAT were watching the NBA draft lottery in the sports department, and once the Pistons fell to 5th, we all perked up. And then when the Rockets were awarded the 4th pick, we were like, no way, man. And then when the Hornets won the 2nd overall pick, we all jumped up and down and started screaming like everyone on Commerce Street. Now, over a month later, on Monday, June 19th, Victor Wembanyama got a very warm welcome when he landed in New York.
Victor, did you expect all this?
I don't know. I didn't know what flight I was on, but, you know, it's fun.
What a crazy video. Our first taste of how fans see Wemby wanting autographs and pictures with the soon-to-be #1 draft pick. The following day, we got to see this on social media. Wemby holding a regulation baseball from MLB. I mean, just look at that. It's like he's holding a golf ball compared to most of us. And let's be honest, we were pretty shocked by the size of the hands of Kawhi Leonard. I mean, this is just completely different, though. Now let's see Wemby out on the mound.
I'm going to do the first pitch. I hope I'm going to be good.
You're not nervous at all, are you?
No, I'm not. But I'm confident.
All right, guys, here we go. 7-4.
Oh, boy.
Let's see.
Oh, no.
After riding the subway to Yankee Stadium, Wemby threw out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium. That's a pretty cool honor. And what a place to throw out the first pitch, Yankee Stadium. Almost a year later, the Missions would have their own Wemby night featuring free tickets for victors and victorias and free French fries. What a promotion.
How do you deal with the pressure that goes along with the anticipation of you?
I have such high expectations for myself, and I'm so determined that the expectations of others are nothing compared to what I expect of myself. So I really got my goals inside, and it's just nothing can disturb me from it. So it's not that hard to deal with it.
The next day on Wednesday, we got to see some of the exclusive one-on-one interview from ABC's Robin Roberts, who flew overseas to France to interview Wemby before the draft. Wemby talked about it all, growing up in France, his love for food, and his unique workout routines before games. Then Thursday, June 22nd, 1 year ago, a very long day. Reports from Brooklyn at the Barclays Center, getting ready for their Spurs to be on the clock and finally make the announcement we all knew was coming. Wemby got to be on the stage for a bit before the draft and look around and to soak it all in. A rare moment because after the call, he was nonstop talking to media from all over the world. Here's the call from Commissioner Adam Silver that set all that in motion, which happened at 7:11 p.m. San Antonio time.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama from Nanterre, France.
Wemby told us it was the longest 5 minutes of his life waiting as the Spurs were on the clock. And check out the very complex and cool handshake between Wemby and his brother. Yeah, you better nail that one with all the cameras focused on you. And here's what it looked like all over the city of San Antonio as the call was made live here on KSAT 12 and on ESPN. Fans packed the Rue Pub and the AT&T Center to celebrate the historic night. The joy was like a playoff win, that's for sure. Wemby was busy for the next 2 hours doing all kinds of things #1 draft picks do, including pictures, autographs, phone calls, etc. By the time the local media could talk to him, we were restricted to just one question each. Here is our time with Wemby in Brooklyn. We are standing here with the newest member of the San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembanyama. And Victor, walk me through that moment after your name was called. You got to hug your family and you had that special handshake with your brother.
You know, it's feels normal to me. Hug my family. These are the first people I go up to thank them and to tell them I love them. So, yeah, and that special handshake with my brother. I had that handshake with him for years. So, yeah, it made sense to me to do it on the most important nights of my life.
All right, thank you very much for your time, and I'm going to have to get a step stool to interview him for the rest of his career with the San Antonio Spurs.
It was really fun moment, and this is what it's about. This makes me happy.
Up next, Mary Rominger is here with part 2, the Wemby arrival to the Alamo City. Stay with us as KSAT 12 looks back to Wemby 1 year later.
Welcome back as KSAT 12 looks back 1 year later since Victor Wembanyama was drafted. You just saw the welcome Wemby received when he arrived stateside. Now let's look back at his first trip to San Antonio.
Here we go. We got the water cannons going out, David. Yeah, and the fans behind me are going crazy as well.
Friday, June 23rd, the fans gave Wembanyama a welcome that is unique to the Spurs franchise. Despite the brutal heat, fans came out in full force. Victor's chartered flight got on the water cannon welcome as he pulled up to the private terminal. When Wemby exited the plane, he shook some hands with the welcome party. Then he made his way to the fence to say hello to the fans he heard so much about since the Spurs won the lottery draft. Next day, Saturday morning, Victor went to a VIP party at the Arneson River Theater. We've typically kept the Arneson River Theater for championship celebrations, but getting the next LeBron has to be right up there. Hopefully, we all will be back at the Arneson to celebrate even more memories with Wembanyama. After that, the Spurs held a noon press conference for both Wembanyama and their second-round draft pick, fellow Frenchman CD Sissoko. Despite being 19 years old, Wemby handled all of the running around like a champ. All eyes in the basketball world on Wemby. So what were those days like from the Big Apple to the Alamo City?
High in emotions, but also a lot of stuff to do. After the draft, after it happened, I had like 2 hours of media, and then I got just to celebrate with my family. So the emotion had time to settle down a little bit, but it was a really tiring. The last 72 hours were really tiring, and but it's I'm really enjoying the moment.
That Saturday afternoon, Wemby made his first visit to Frost Bank Center. His first time looking up to see those championship banners. Hopefully, he will look up one day and see more that he helped deliver to the city. If you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would it be? No matter your answer, you're wrong. This is the dinner we all wish we could have been at. Wemby posted this the weekend of his draft night. It's him with Sean Elliott, David Robinson, Manu Ginobili, and Tim Duncan. The caption reads, "Couldn't ask for better role models. To be a fly on the wall during those conversations would have been awesome." After that press conference, Wemby put on his home jersey for the first time. When we come back, it's time to look at Wemby on what he did on the hardwood. Nick Mantis will look at Wemby by the numbers. We'll be right back as KSAT 12 focuses on Wemby 1 year after being drafted.
Welcome back. All the hype of Wemby's arrival to the Alamo City was felt all over town, and it made fans buy more season tickets to pack the Frost Bank Center for Spurs preseason games. And once the season kicked off, Wemby delivered on what he could do in the NBA. Wemby's skills were remarkable to watch all season long. He played in 71 games, and it seems like every night he made a single play that just made fans smile. And looking back, it's crazy to think that what he was able to accomplish while playing just 29.7 minutes per game. Can you imagine what his stats would look like if his minutes increase this upcoming season? Let's take a look back at Wemby by the numbers. Wemby's stats his first season with the Spurs: 21.4 points per game, 46.5 field goal percentage, 32.5 three-pointers, 10.6 rebounds a game. That's 8th in the NBA. 3.9 assists per game, 3.6 blocks. That's first in the NBA, and 1.2 steals per game. Wemby led all rookies in points, rebounds, and blocks per game, and he became the second rookie to lead the NBA in blocks per game and total blocks for the season. The other was Manu Bol, the last player to average 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks and 3 assists in a season was Shaq 24 years ago.
There's so much more to this, and to me it's always important to recognize each other's greatness and value. So yeah, I mean, this is not enough. This is barely something.
On Saturday, May 11th, Wemby received his Rookie of the Year award at the Scobie Education Center and Planetarium. But he wasn't alone. He was joined by his teammates, 50 or so kids from local boys and girls clubs, Big Brother and Big Sister programs, and students from a nearby elementary school. That's a pretty cool way to share the award. Wemby also showed a video to those in attendance, a special thank you to the Spurs organization, the fans, and Spurs legends. And here's a look at the other awards that Wemby won this season. He won Rookie of the Month 3 times. Rookie of the Year joining David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Second in Defensive Player of the Year voting. NBA All-Rookie First Team and NBA All-Defensive First Team. He's the first rookie and youngest player in NBA history to do so. Well, up next, it's time for the Press Box, previewing the upcoming NBA draft live right here at KSAT 12. We'll be right back.
It is time now for the Press Box, a segment on instant replay where we recap and preview the big headlines in sports. Time now to talk the 2024 NBA draft with Mary and Nick. And our first topic tonight, who do you think the Spurs should draft with their number 4 overall pick and the number 8 overall selection, Mary?
Well, I have 2 guys in mind.
Okay.
Of course, both point guards, both guards. Reed Sheppard from Kentucky and Stephon Castle from UConn. Stephon Castle in particular is a really exciting player, and if he were to fall to the Spurs, it'd be awesome. He's 6'6", a proven perimeter defender, also a great passer. Could be really interesting.
Nick?
I got another point guard, but I'm going with the all the way down in Kentucky. I'm liking Rob Dillingham. He's filling that point guard position because of the way he can also facilitate his ability to not only find guys like Wemby, but he was averaging about 15 points a game. Guy who knows how to play in big-time systems. I want him at that number 4 pick. Then with that 8th pick, I'm going all the way out to the Pac-12. Colorado, he's a good guard. I could see him maybe playing a 3 position. Cody Williams, he's got great quality of size. He's got a lot of skill. He plays with toughness and wants to get his guys involved. I like him at the 8th pick.
All right, I'm going to go 2 guys, Reed Sheppard, and I'm going to go Dalton Neck because both of those guys can shoot the ball. Our next question, should the Spurs trade one or both of their first-round draft picks and get a veteran player to play alongside Wemby, and if so, who?
Okay, I mean, it's the offseason, right? We just spitball, we just say things. It's all speculation. Imagine Paul George in a Spurs uniform. He's a 2-way player. He's incredible. I might have deep dived too far in some of the free agent availability, but if the Spurs can somehow, there's rumors saying that they're a free agent destination and people are willing to take less money. I'm curious to
play
see
with
if
Wemby, right? Yeah.
I'm curious to see if it'll happen.
That'll be an interesting matchup. I know people in Philly are going to be a little bit annoyed by that because they want to see him matched up with Embiid. But I'm going to probably say that we shouldn't go ahead and get anybody out there. This is not what the Spurs like to do. They like to build. It's whether or not through the draft, whether or not it's picking up and maybe a couple of young pieces here and there. I think you got 2 picks right now. Maybe go international like they're known to do. But right now, they're not rushing anything. They're sitting pretty. They got Wemby. They're going to pick him some pieces and stuff. Keep Devin Vassell right where he is. I like where we are. I say we don't go shopping. I think Trae Young's going to be way too expensive when it comes to trying to get somebody out there. What do you think?
I kind of like the whole Darius Garland thing from the Cleveland Cavaliers, but their price tag for him is probably more than really what the Spurs want to give up. Right, the Spurs have the 35th and 48th pick in the second round. Considering all that the draft picks that the Spurs may get, where do the Spurs need the most help, and how can they help improve the Spurs right away, Mary?
The point guard position, it's pretty obvious, right? I mean, they need help facilitating, getting the ball to Wemby, making plays, good perimeter defense to help out beyond the paint. I mean, there's, I don't think really any question about that one, right?
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably have the same brain. We were thinking about that. You know, planning for a point guard is what we're seeing. Trae Jones, we like you. You're great. Awesome guy, great family guy. But it's time to, when you're going to have somebody matched up with Wemby, you need a guy who's able to play that point guard position at that Wemby level. And I don't think Trae Jones is necessarily there yet. I want to see them get somebody else in that position, surround the team with some more shooters like you were mentioning as well. This way you have a more of a complete offense, a complete team, somebody who wants to play both ways as well, has pride in playing defense. Pop's going to love that. I say that's going to be exciting to see.
It's going to be awesome to see how this NBA draft shakes out. Mary, thank you very much.
Interesting.
Nick, thank you very much. The 2024 NBA draft is next week. The first round is Wednesday from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. It's live here on KSAT 12. The second round will go down on Thursday from the ESPN Seaport District Studios in Manhattan. And make sure to join us tomorrow night on Instant Replays. We say goodbye and thank you to David Sears for his many years in sports and news. David is retiring at the end of the upcoming week. So join us tomorrow night on IR for David's final Instant Replay. For myself, Mary, Nick, producer Daniel Villanueva, sports photogs Mark Mendez and Adam Higgins, and all the folks behind the scenes, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We'll see you tonight on The Night Beat.